I call Jackie Dean.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and thanks to the member who previously spoke on the admissibility of hearsay evidence, which was one of the matters which is contained in the bill, and he's quite right. There are some changes around that, but this bill contains a number of other measures, and those measures continue with this government's focus on putting the victims at the heart and the centre of our justice system. We also have a focus, and I also acknowledge the member who also noted this, that we are making, along with a focus on the victim, we're also making improvements to efficiency and accessibility to our justice system, because access to justice is one of the strong tenets in New Zealand's justice system. It's pleasing to see that not only did the Select Committee work very cooperatively on this bill in particular, the Justice Committee is a committee that works with a focus on the issues at hand, and we tend to traverse and make our way through those issues where we disagree, try and find a way so that we can present back to the House a bill which reflects what is good and what is good in the intention of that bill at hand. And in this case, it is the Evidence Amendment Bill. The Select Committee did make a few changes to the bill, really just a minor change, or minor in terms of the debate really, is the commencement date, which will allow time for regulations to be made before the bill comes into force. It's a topic of some argument amongst select committees these days around how many regulations there should be, or should really the legislation be in the primary legislation. I believe, and it's my view, that sometimes regulations are best dealt with and we get a better result if they are dealt with after the legislation has been passed, and I believe this is one of those examples. We also recommended a number of technical changes, clarifying definitions and phrases to provide some consistency within not only the Evidence Amendment Bill, but also consistency between this bill and other acts. What we are also coming up against is terminology. In some pieces of legislation, a person under the age of 16 is a child, and other pieces of legislation, a person under the 16 is referred to as a person or some other term, and that clarity in legislation is very important. This bill will give child witnesses the right to a support person while giving evidence. And that's a change, so that won't have to be done on application to the court. It will be a presumption that a child will get a support person when giving evidence. And also there will be the ability to have alternate ways of giving evidence. And the reason for that is very simple. The reason for that is well accepted and well supported around the House, and I don't think we'd find a single person in New Zealand who could disagree with the premise that these measures will go a long way into helping reduce anxiety, helping reduce stress on children, enable them to give better testimony, enable them to be better witnesses. And I think that if we get a better result for not only the child witness, but also a better result coming out of the court, then this, I think, on every level is a good measure. We're also placing restrictions on video record evidence, and so tightening up on who can see and to whom the video evidence is available, and a notice requirement around evidence of previous sexual history. And once again, this is a measure which puts on notice that if previous sexual history is to be raised in the court, then that is done with some warning to the witness. The bill will also allow more previous consistent statements to be admissible in court, and that's to enable a more complete story for the jury. And I think the previous speaker spoke at length around this issue. It is one point in quite a comprehensive bill. We do have further readings. I do have more to contribute, but I commend the bill to the House.
I call David